Okay, we're all
Maserati.
back here. Yeah. Oh, lovely. Very nice. Very nice. So, just wanted to ask people then, how many people have tried out the gizmos?
I think I have.
Oh yeah. Okay, we've got some people, experienced people there. Good. So really, we want to talk about like the most basic tools that you'll be using for creation, and being able to precisely place objects is very important. So I'm just going to bring up a slideshow here on the screen. Okay, so here is Bessie. And I'm going to give everyone IFX. So everyone has access to IFX now.
David, could you walk us through as you pick the stuff on the tablet, what you're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. So there we go. IFX already out. So up on the screen now, you're going to see exactly what I'm going to do with the IFX, and I'm going to get you all practicing using the gizmos, because once you start creating content, you realize that being able to place things accurately is extremely important to everything you're going to do, other than the basic recordings. And then after that, I'm going to go through all the recording settings with you as well. So first of all, let's see, where's my media? Here it is. Okay. So present. Okay, so very helpfully, we have a cow out here on the left. Thank you very much. If everyone wants to, if you just bring up your tablet menu, and then at the very top in the center, there's the IFX icon, which looks like 3 little cubes. And then in that, if you want to just click on any of those objects that are there, whatever takes your fancy, a bear or a cow or something like that, wonderful, excellent. Now, if we look at what we have here on screen, now the object that you've just placed down, you should see up on the screen, you can see this here. You should be able to see these options. Sorry, before you see that, you have to click on the option that says Gizmo. So there'll be 3 icons. One is a share icon, one is a Gizmo icon, and one, and the other one is just the selection icon. So has everyone been able to get as far as opening up their Gizmo icon, like the one we have on the screen?
Yes.
Yeah,
I have another problem. My controllers won't recognize the presses of my buttons, and I have to use my mouse and keyboard. It's a bit...
Oh, yes. Okay. Well, in that case, you can still do it with your mouse and keyboard. It's still possible there, which every single control that we have in Engage works in VR or in desktop as well with the mouse. So you should be able to do that. So devil person, maybe could... can we just move the devil out of the way just so we can see the screen up here? Or maybe we could shrink him down to a little baby devil or something. Oh, excellent. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's have a look at the options we have here. So once you've clicked on your gizmos, the third icon in, which is this one here, the one that is arrows at the moment, this will toggle between the different modes. So I'm gonna spawn out an object myself. So here we have a cow. It's my own cow, and then there's the first 3 icons you'll see will be the trash can to delete, share to pink share button to share, and then the arrows are the gizmos. And the first gizmo you'll see will be the translate gizmo, which are these arrows. And by clicking on one of the arrows, you can isolate your movement. So I've clicked on, in my example, I've clicked on the top arrow here, the vertical arrow. And then if you have thumbsticks on your controller, you can use the thumbsticks to accurately move the object up and down. So if you can give that a go, have everything bouncing up and down, or left and right. If you've selected the arrow for left and right, that will do that. So I'm going to select the left and right arrow there. And then similarly, back and forth.
Moves in the opposite direction of the joystick, side to side.
Yes, that's like it's kind of like in Gulliver's Travels, like which end of the egg do you like open up when you have your boiled egg? There's been many debates and almost to fisticuffs in our office. And it should go in this direction. No, it should go in the other direction. But we've
It's
chosen a
relative
direction.
to the animal's point of view.
Exactly. We just hope that it won't start too many arguments with y'all. But yeah, everyone seems to be having a good go there. How's it going? Has anyone not been able to get their gizmo working?
So, David, why do you guys call it gizmo?
Gizmo is a term from the 3D industry, and it just means a kind of tool. So it's like a tool to be able to manipulate things. We call the main control where you can just pick it up and move it, we call that the move control. So we also had to give it a separate name. And actually, if anybody is from the 3D industry, if you're used to using any of the main packages like CAD or Max or Maya or Blender, you'll be very familiar with this kind of gizmo because they're actually exactly the same. Okay, so
why do they call it translate?
Translate, because that's the mathematical term. So the mathematical term for moving an object in 3D space is to translate. And the area of maths that it's concerned with is called matrices. So you'll have values that are translated on the graph. And you'll come across them if you're, say, graphing quadratic equations or working in geometry and things like that.
All the time.
But, so it's a branch of maths. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is this button here. So the arrows button, click on that again, and you'll see it will change to the rotate button. So now let's try isolating our axes and rotating our objects. And again, this is really useful because often when you're trying to place things down, you want to place it in a position and then just rotate it in the vertical axis. So like, for example, my cow is turning around here. Beautiful. There we go. We have the galloping goat. I love it. I love it. And then you can rotate like that. Now, there's two different ways you can use your rotate axis gizmo. You can click on the axis to highlight it. So you click on axis to highlight it. Hang on, I'll bring my next media slide up. There we go. So you can click on your axis to highlight it, and you can use your thumbstick to do a very fine control. But you can also just use your trigger button and then move the controller, and you can do it a lot quicker like that. See, my cow is flying along now.
Which thumbstick? I'm on 5, by the way. So which trackpad?
It should be your right-hand one. So on your right-hand controller.
So I'm selecting, I'm clicking and holding on the wheel, and I'm using the trackpad.
Yes, so no, you aim your laser pointer at one of the axes and you trigger, and it'll highlight the axis. And then you can use your thumbstick to rotate it. Okay, so we've done some basic rotations and we've done some basic translations. One thing that's very important as well, sometimes you're trying to line up a load of objects. You want them all to be nicely in the correct rotation. That's why we have the snap function. So this button here, the U, is a magnet, and that means snap. So if you all try just clicking on the magnet and see what happens, it resets your rotations. So you can see you can rotate your object to a crazy angle like that. And then if you click on your magnet icon, it'll bring it back to a nice recentered rotation. And if you are in the translate tool, when you click on it, when you click on your magnet, it'll make your character. Now this is something that I wanted for a long time, so I'm so glad we have this function now. So my cow's up in the air, and I want my cow to be properly on the ground. I click my gizmo icon until it's the arrows again, and I then click onto the magnet, and my cow should properly snap to the ground. So that is very useful. Often I found when you're placing objects, you've done your whole scene, and then you come back and you look at it, and you realize that everything is floating a millimeter off the ground, and it's very frustrating. So make sure you use your snap to icon or your magnet icon.
Is there an undo?
Okay.
There isn't an undo at the moment, but that is a highly requested feature, and it is absolutely being developed because that was also, where's Kirsty? Kirsty, we also say, where's our undo, please?
Yeah, for all the work of getting it perfect.
Yes, absolutely.
So I just got that you have to like first click on the rotation axes you want to edit first,
Yes.
and then you use your trackpad to make those fine adjustments.
Exactly.
That's great. Okay.
Yes.
Or
Now
joystick.
there's another way as well. You can also just aim, like once you're in this mode, you can see how the let's see if I can get there we go. Once you're in this mode, you can see this is highlighted. I could also I could point my laser pointer at it, press the trigger button, and then do larger motions if I need to as well.
Right, but yeah, doing that, it like once you've done a full rotation and you try and keep going, it like weirdly snaps sometimes. So I do like the finer adjustments. I'll have to tell that to some of our lesson heads. Like, hey, when you're making your IFX scenes, you have this option. So that's great.
Yeah, so it's vital if you're doing any sort of organized or larger detailed arrangements of IFX. Onto the final gizmo type, which is scale. And let's see if we can get... Here we go. So if you click on your icon again, you'll notice it changes to 3 little blocks. So there we go. So it changes to these 3 little blocks. And that allows you to scale. Now, there's the scale is uniform. So you're not able to scale it just in one axis. It scales in all axes simultaneously. And again, that works exactly the same. You can select it and you can do it with your thumbstick, or you can do it more quickly like that with your controller. Another thing that is really, really useful, that now I have Knuckles controllers, so I'm not quite sure, I'm not very familiar with them, to be honest with you. But Kirsty, maybe you could hop up here and give us a hand. Kirsty's on Oculus. So it works really nicely on Oculus. There's the side buttons as well as the trigger button. And basically what you do, if you want to spawn an IFX, or I can share, and if you go into rotation, just reset your rotation to 0. So use your trigger. Okay, so you can select an axis and you can rotate it by rotating it with your thumbstick like that. But you can also do it in snapped increments. Now this is really useful. Say you just wanted to do 90 degrees. The way you do that is you hold down your side trigger. So you hold down your side button, and then use your thumbstick to snap in increments of, I believe it's 15 degrees. So Kirsty, if you could just demonstrate that, you can do snapped increments. There you go. So by doing that, you just go hold down your side button and go left, 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 and it will turn to a nice even angle. Yeah, so again, that's really essential if you're doing any sort of very controlled keyframe animations or movements or placements that you might need. So so is there any questions at all about the gizmos and what we've had a look at so far?
Yes,
I just want to...
David, go ahead.
Yeah, fire away. Who's where are we?
I have something
there
to
we go,
say.
Karen.
Yes, hi. Hello.
Hi, how are you? How are you?
Good, thanks. Good. So I just wanted to say what Kirsty just demonstrated. I'm on a Windows mixed reality device on a Samsung Odyssey, and
I see. Yes,
that worked for me as well with the grip button and then using the touchpad.
Wonderful. I'm absolutely sure it works on the Knuckles as well, but I'm just embarrassed. I've only just picked them up and I'm not used to them. We got them a little while ago. So, but it is definitely set up for it. Kirsty, where's the side?
I think it'd be the touchpad. You know where you put your thumbs?
Sorry, David.
Yeah. Yeah, you should be able to do it on the Quest as well. Absolutely. If there's a side button.
I used the joystick, but I pushed the magnet, but it doesn't snap like you tell.
Okay. Do you know, are you in translation or rotation?
Rotation.
Rotation. Okay.
Yes.
Now, it could be that your object is already back to its original rotation, so there's no change. Try rotating your object a little bit and then snap again.
It's the space guy there. So I use the thumbstick I press the magnet, it goes to its original position.
Yes, that's it.
That's it. It's not
Yes.
like it should snap right now.
No, it'll snap to it should snap to its original position. That looked like it had done the correct behavior. So
Okay. Yeah. I thought you meant it snaps while you move it to the 45 degrees.
That's a different function. The way you do that is you hold the side button as a modifier, and then use your thumbstick to do the increments.
Okay. Let's try.
Let's give it a go. This is Michael Collins from our simulation Apollo. What was it called again, Kirsty?
11.
Yeah, it's Apollo. Sorry, I animated the damn characters. I should remember.
So, excuse me, I so I'm also on the Oculus, and I can confirm that it's not behaving that way.
Really? Yeah, you're doing it nicely. That's incremental.
It looks like it.
Yeah, that's incrementing. That's correct. Yes. Yeah, that's perfect. You're doing it great. Is there anyone that? Yeah. Hey, Paul.
Once you get an object precisely oriented you want it, is there a way to copy it now in that position so that you now can make sort of like a little herd or something?
No, there isn't. That would be a clone in the content editor.
Clone, yeah. Yeah,
in the content editor, yes, you can. We have a clone button in the content editor. So if you have placed your IFX10 in the content editor, you can just press clone and you'll have an exact identical copy of it. But not
Will the animations sync up? Will the animations sync?
Everything that your object does will be an identical clone of that. But we don't have that in the general Engage experience yet, but I will suggest that to be added because that would be very useful, absolutely.
I mean, theoretically, snapshots could be used to do that, right?
Yes, you could absolutely do that.
Save and import, yeah.
Yes, that would be one way to do it.
Batteries low.
So is there anybody that feels particularly confident with their gizmo skills and would be willing to take a challenge? Okay, Danny. I saw that hand going straight up. Okay, Danny, come on up on stage here. I'm going to clear...
Challenger.
Yes, I'm going to clear away all... Excuse me.
I just worked so hard on mine.
Yeah. So there we go. And I'm going to load up a snapshot that I prepared earlier, and this is called the Gizmo Assault Course.
Okay.
Here we go. Okay. So hang on a second while I get rid of the podium. There we go. So now, okay, your challenge, Danny, should you choose to accept it, let me just get another IFX up here, is to guide this wriggling little plesiosaur through these hoops without touching the hoops.
Right.
And those are my only rules.
Those are your only rules, and the audience here will be if you're hitting the edges of these hoops. So,
and I get I'm going to get like shared.
I'm going to share that. I just wanted to show one more thing because this is essential for the challenge. There is a thing called local space and global space. And the way global space works, it's the world, okay? So if you imagine this room is a global space, and left and right is like this, and then forward and back is like this, oriented towards the room or the stage. But there's also local object space. So say, for example, I have my own plesiosaur here. The object's local space for this guy would be along his axis like this, and then maybe up and down in this direction. And this is exactly what the button here does. So you can see there's a little icon of the world, and that switches between local and global space. Now, it's a little bit of a confusing concept. Again, this is from 3D software, but once you have practiced using the gizmos, you'll get frustrated when you realize it's hard to move the object in certain directions if you ever feel like that, try the local global switch, and you'll see that the gizmo arrows will change direction, and it'll probably make it easier for you to move things. So I'm going to share this plesiosaur with you now, Danny, if you want to take the plesiosaur challenge.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll just shrink it down and then.
Oh, that's
and
cheating.
Then,
Come on.
Wow, that was
and then I just grab it.
Ah, come on. You're supposed to use the... That's too easy now. Come on. Right, you're supposed to use your gizmos. You want to use your gizmos. I think we need it.
All right, you got it.
There we go. Okay,
all right, so
here you
then, go. All right, so gizmo time. It's in local space so that I can... So then rotation, and then...
That's it, exactly. So it's really nice. You can see he's put it in local rotation, so it's turning around its own axis, and you can line it up, so he's got the angle right. Brilliant. Look at that. And again, we're going to want to reorient to get it going in this direction.
And
no hints. No hints.
And then, hang on.
Sorry.
Now, is there, and then I want to go to local rotation axes, so I can do.
Excellent.
Like
Beautiful. Look at that.
And then back to...
Oh, that was close. That was close.
I don't know, man. You should change color when he hits them.
Yeah. Oh, well, I just knocked this together. These are actually the letter O repeated several times. Oh, he's scaling. We've got scaling.
Oh, he's got scaling. Oh,
right.
But as you can see, Danny is doing a fantastic job getting through the assault course. And this is a really nice example of how you might want to have your local rotations to get very, very detailed or controlled orientations of your objects.
Are you able to record this in a kind of a more real time, like is that like a keyframe way?
Yes, you can. And actually, the next thing we're going to show you after this amazing challenge is completed, and he's flying through it. He's passed the first 3 hoops. This reminds me of the motocross trials, actually. Oh, he's into the zero. Can he get through the zero? It's deceptively ovoid.
Let's just do a nice, precise shwoom.
Woo! Congratulations, Danny. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. No, that was beautifully done. Very, very nicely done.
Good little thing. Good job.
That is...
I like the original solution.
Yeah, it was excellent. So you've all had a go at the gizmos there, and they are one of the core functionalities to be able to precisely control anything that you're going to put in a recording. Now, I would say the next thing that is really important is recordings. So one thing that can be a little bit confusing is the recording option has so many different things in it. So if you're a pro user, you'll be able to record absolutely everything that's happening in the room at once. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load up a lesson. I'm going to clear away the IFX, and I'm just going to turn off people's IFX for the moment. I apologize. And we're going to load up some content. Let's see, this was one I just prepared before the class. Kirsty helped me make this, and it's just a sample recording. So I'm going to let that load up, and I'm going to pause it for a moment. And when everyone can see the virtual me here, just let me know. Karen.
Your sponsor behind you.
Looks good to me.
I just loaded a random YouTube video, so we've got all sorts of branding in here. Okay, so what we've got here, I'm going to play my little scene now. It's a little chaotic. Inside engage. Everything is being recorded. The media on the screen. Inside engage.
Put it away.
Sam's got a spider.
Here, other Kirsty, and also the IFX text that we're using here. Other
car insurance options give you the cover you want.
Allianz Insurance. How can I help?
What we're going to do now is to show you an example. Like, say, for example,
Let's go.
Allianz Insurance.
Okay, so that was our recording. So I'm going to pause that. So when you make a recording, it records absolutely everything. So we can see everything that we were doing at the time. And oh, what? Hang on. Inside engage. So I'm going to stop that guy now. Okay, so as you can see, it records everything that you do. And when you make a recording and you want to turn it into a lesson in the content creator, often you don't want all the elements of that recording to be there, because you might decide later on, do you know what? That Allianz video was actually really annoying. So what you can do is, I'm going to load up my media. I'm going to load up my, here we go, my media, and I'm going to load up the screen show, or the slideshow again. And we're going to jump onto this screen here, right at the end. There's the cow. Okay, cool. So as you can see here now, these are the tick boxes. And unless you know, or unless you had some experience, it could be a little confusing because there's so many options for when you're changing your recording options. So I can, I'll put up another screen actually. Let's see, video screens. There we go. So there's another one closer up to you in case it's a little difficult to read. See, when we're looking at all these options, so say, for example, that Allianz commercial in the background was just too annoying, and although you thought it was good while you were doing the lesson, you realize you don't want it in your content that you're creating. All you can do is you add your recording to your timeline or your scene, and then you tick the no recorded media box. And I will show you exactly what that looks like now as I load the content again. Let's see. Well, actually, do you know what? I'll take a quick run through them and then I'll show you examples of it. So the no recorded media would turn off the video of Allianz that was playing in the background. And then the next one, the no recorded IFX, well, that would turn off the hippopotamus that Kirsty had spawned as an IFX. And you can do combinations of these as well. You can say, well, do you know what? I don't want a recording and I don't want the IFX. And also, for example, in a recording, if you're making a recording and you, as the host of the lesson or the host of the class, send a quiz to all the people in the room, that's also recorded as part of the recording. And if you play back the recording, the quiz will again be sent out to people. So that's really handy for training situations. You can just make your recording and build your content, and it'll still trigger the challenge and the quiz that you would have done in the live session as well. So let's just load up the scene and we'll see the examples with these boxes turned off. So here we go. I'm going to load up my scene again. I have so many scenes on my tablet, you wouldn't believe.
Can they
okay,
be
here
deleted?
We go. And I'm going to jump forward. So the first time it plays, you can see, here we go. It's the exact same recording. It's the exact same recording, but that's still playing. I jump back.
Our comprehensive car insurance options give you the cover you want.
I have a... Okay, so that was the first time it played, so it had the recording on it. And now it should play again. Hi, everybody. So this is an example of a recording. You can notice it's exactly the same recording. Everything is being recorded. But it doesn't have the annoying Allianz ad in the background. So it's a lot more relaxing. Here, other people in the scene, Kirsty. Yeah, far away. And
Dave?
Yeah, far away.
How did you associate that recording with the content, the page where you were kind of configuring? Because I didn't see you load this recording into the content page before you started editing it.
Oh,
like editing out taking things out or whatever. I didn't see you do that.
Okay, no, I did that in the content editor. So
yeah, but does that mean everything that you then play doesn't matter what you load? I just don't know how you associated this animation with the content. You loaded it, but I don't see how you. What if you'd have loaded another piece of content that had video? Would that have been affected as well?
No, it's only on an individual recording basis. So
how do you associate a recording with the content editor?
The content, it's the other way around. Okay, somebody's got a big echo there. I'm not sure if... no, it's the other way around. The recording automatically records whatever media you're playing at the time. So I was playing the Alliance media in the background when Kirsty and I did our little recording earlier on.
Yes.
So so I didn't need to load the recording again, or load the video file again. It was
as
already...
long as if your animation is on the stage, then you go into the content creator. You're working with this scene.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. That's how you do it. You load your animation first, then you go to the content editor, and now you're in edit mode for this particular scene.
Yes, that's it exactly.
That's what you're doing. Okay, I missed that point. You brought up the content editor. I didn't see how you got to this editing this.
Yeah, I should have made that clearer. Sorry. So what I'm doing this series of examples is we've made a recording earlier on, and it's me, Kirsty, some IFX, and some media, and then I went into the content editor, and when I clicked on New Event, I clicked on the recording button, and this was a recording that I had on my computer. So that was the recording that we'd already made. And when you're playing back your recording inside the content editor, you can decide what elements of your recording are used or not used.
Can you take out little chunks?
Not yet.
Where you made a mistake? Where you made a mistake or something?
Well, actually, yes, you can. For example, if at the very start of the recording, we'll play it again, you could say I didn't like the very start of the recording, I can tell it to cut off a lump of the start of the recording. So I'll just bring up my PowerPoint and I'll be able to point that out to you. So my media, and here we go, and it's going to load up, and I'll present. We'll jump forward. So this option here, the playback start. So playback start is an offset value. So say, for example, I didn't like the first 5 seconds of this recording because I was just getting ready and I was coughing or something. I was like, and it was unpleasant, and I want to get rid of that from the recording. All you have to do is click on playback start and then put in the value that you want to remove from the start of your recording. Yeah, Danny.
Well, first couple questions. So if you wanted to get rid of something from the middle of it, you would you would start off, get to the point up until the mistake happens, cut off the end there, then set a new instance of that recording in the following keyframe that happens after the mistake, and then would that seamlessly make the two instances of the recording flow into one another?
That would absolutely work. Yes, that is. It would be a little bit
so
of a
you
workaround.
can join recordings together.
You could. Now, unfortunately, there would be a jump. You'd notice the cut, just like if you'd cut film footage, you'd still see
Makes
a cut
sense.
like that. But
yeah,
that is, I requested that specific feature because I want that. It's really useful. You can blend things together, and people don't notice the join.
Right.
So that's definitely on the drawing board. But at the moment, you could just do the hard cut like that, and it would work. Absolutely.
The other question I had is what browser software are you using for these slideshows? Because we've attempted a Google Drive slideshow and we've had some problems in the past.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll hand over to Kirsty for that one, because actually Kirsty made the presentation.
No, that one's through Google Drive. I usually use Google Drive, but you can use OneDrive and you can stream from web browsers as well.
Okay.
I'm not close at the moment, but you can do it purely to the web browser if you find that more comfortable. If that works a bit more streamlessly, you just log in your URL rather than logging into the cloud connections if you're having issues.
Okay, because one of our instructors, she's on Quest, by the way, tried to load up one of her PowerPoints through the Google Drive link in the options, and she was having issues. But we'll I'll talk to you about that later.
Now, I think I know exactly what that is. The Quest it has more limited memory, and when you load a Google Drive document, it's loading the whole web page and all the content in your PowerPoint into the memory. So my guess was she probably had a video file in her PowerPoint.
I don't remember. Might have been.
But
sometimes it's a little bit better if you play them through first on the Quest and then go back to the start. It just runs a bit better sometimes.
Like the PowerPoint also didn't show up correctly for me, and I'm on a Vive, so.
Oh, okay. Well, then maybe not. Okay. Maybe not. Well, we can have a look into it. If you want to if you make a public link and send it on to support at it's support at Immersive, is it, or
VR education?
Yeah.
Long email address.
Yeah, we can test that and have a look at it, definitely. Paul, yeah?
I notice on the slide there that the start time is 0, the end time is 100. Is that 100 frames or 100 seconds? Or...
It's 100 seconds at the moment,
100
yes.
Seconds? Now, do you, when you load an animation like this, do you get a number as to where, how long it is? So you can
No,
make an
you
estimate?
don't.
So you don't know how long that is. You just kind of, you can look at your timeline and see that it runs for so many minutes, basically.
Exactly, at the moment.
Engage, it's inside the file. It shows you how long it lasts for. But inside of the content creator, it doesn't have it. It's something we could put in, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, we should add that information.
Yeah. Thanks.
Cool.
So,
okay.
David?
Yeah, far away. Yeah.
I got a question over here.
Yeah, Carlos.
How do you actually record this?
So if you go to your main menu, you should have a tab with a film camera icon that says recording. If you're a pro member, is it enabled on or?
I see.
I'm pro, and it's not enabled for me. I got home iFX and media and notes, and the only thing in media is the media viewer.
We all have to be hosts or something.
Yeah, you have to be host of the room. At the moment, you're guests in the room, so you don't have that control. But say, for example...
I was able to record without Pro.
Were you?
No, you can do that,
okay.
Pro.
Yes, the difference is if you record and you're in a standard account, you only record yourself. So in this example, I would have only recorded myself. But for the Pro accounts, you can record any action that is happening, the whole audience and everything. Yeah. Paul.
Now, I'm just occurred to me now, if you're recording, let's say we take Danny's example there where it's much smoother to actually guide the item through those hoops manually. Could you record that without him being recorded and just have that animation saved?
It's funny that you say that because this is one of my favorite things in Engage, and I call it puppeteering. So yes, it is so much fun. It is really cool. So in our, let's say, see our little example here. Kirsty is playing with little Mr. Hippopotamus here. So what would happen if we chose this option here? So IFX only, no avatars. So let's skip forward in the timeline and see what that looks like. So I'm going to jump forward. 2, 1. Okay. Again, are also so in this example, I turned off everything except host, and then the final example. So he'll stop. Okay, go away. There we go. Okay, now the next recording, I did exactly what you said. I ticked the box that says IFX only. Oh, and here we go. Look, Mrs. Hippopotamus or Mr. Hippopotamus is on his own, and he's just going for a walk. So this is the exact same recording that you've been watching earlier, but in this case, we've used it to do a nice little bit of puppeteering. So you could do your own version of The Lion King, completely puppeteered if you wanted to.
But I mean, when Danny was doing it, he was actually holding it.
Yes, and that's what Kirsty was doing.
And that would have been recorded without using the gizmos?
Yes, you don't need to use the gizmos. Anything.
So you can you can just totally guide it through super smooth, and it's recording the whole thing.
Yeah, we can do a little example here. Look, I'll just put down an IFX. Let's see something nice. I'm going to put down a bear. I'm going to make it a little bear. And another trick is to scale things down because that's a lot easier to. It's a lot easier to control. Okay, so I'm going to do a recording, and I'm going to do it of everyone, and I'm going to call it something 0000. There we go, and it's going to start recording now, and I'm going to pick up my bear. So here's my recording. The bear is going along, and then he does a little jump, and then he goes along, and there we go. That's my recording. And I'm going to save that. And now I'm going to load up my recording. Here we go. Recording. The bear is going along. And then, okay. I have to do it in the content editor. But but basically, it's exactly the same as the example.
Okay, so you immediately go into the content creator at this point and delete your avatar.
No, I don't delete the avatar. I just drop the recording down into the timeline. And then I would just choose, I'd click on the edit option, and I just choose the tick box there. Jacques, did you want to say something? No? Or no, it's just your arm up in the air. Okay, sorry.
One other
That's because I've got the recording. Yeah, I'll just stop this recording. There we go. Okay, because we had doubles of everybody in the room. And I'll get rid of my bear. Sorry, Paul.
One other technical thing. I was trying the recording the other day. Okay, I was trying to do a tutorial on editing landscapes in Unity. And so what I did was I started a recording, and then I selected my desktop and worked in real time recording that whole thing.
Oh, okay.
And then when I played it back, it worked. It played back what I recorded. But the actual desktop image was severely compromised. Like, it didn't actually record it like a YouTube video would have recorded perfectly. But the desktop plays back kind of a really harsh, unusable kind of footage.
Yeah, to be honest with you, if you think about it, your computer it's rendering your computer's desktop, it's rendering your VR headset, and then it's also doing another render again to record the whole thing back into the computer. So to be honest, it's really stretching the capabilities of any desktop computer that we have at the moment. So it's very difficult. I would recommend perhaps if you want to do
stills
that
or something.
Yeah,
or making a video first.
That's what I do.
On YouTube.
Exactly. I use a screen capture software, and I make a YouTube video first, and then I'll bring it in and play it as an example when I'm teaching a lesson or something like that. Yeah. Okay, so where were we on our list of options that we were showing? I'm going to bring my media up again.
David, what screen capture do you use?
We use two different ones. I use OBS, which isn't as good quality, really lightweight. So it's also open source and free, which is very nice. So that's OBS is an acronym anyway, but I think it's OBS Studio is what it's called, and you can download it for free.
I know this.
Kirsty, what's the other one that we use that David uses?
We use Action, but I think most of the time we use OBS now because it's more reliable.
Yeah, Action is another one. It's a paid product. And it's very good quality, but it doesn't always work on every desktop environment. So, Danny,
Yeah. During this session, are we actually going to visit the content creator together, since you can do group like content creator there?
Yeah, well, maybe not this week, because I thought we should maybe start off with the basic stuff. So we're not going to go into the content editor, but for the next session, absolutely. I think we should go in and we can start making things together at that point. But for this week, we're going to give it a go. Jean-Philippe?
Is it possible to create your own room?
Yes. At the moment, the way it works, it's a manual process. So if you want to create your own location, say in Unity, for corporate clients and for pro users, we can look at integrating those Unity files into Engage. So if you want to just email support, and we could talk about arranging that for you. So yeah, absolutely.
There any guidelines or
there is.
Like limitations wise?
Yes, if you email support, they'll give you a link to our forums, and you can on the main website you can go to the forum section. So that's engagebr.io, and there'll be So any questions you might have, we'll definitely help you there, and also through the support email as well.
Only Unity or Unreal as well?
No, unfortunately, we're compatible with Unity. We don't incorporate assets from Unreal at the moment. But if your assets were in, say, like an FBX or OBJ format, they can be integrated. It's not a problem.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and
just one question: is it possible to have a specific conversation with somebody, a private conversation during a global session? For example, if I want to talk with Jean-Philippe, just a few words, for example, is it possible separately?
I think what you're talking about is called what's it called again, Kirsty? I can forget. Or Chris is here as well. Yeah, there you go. What's it called?
3D audio.
3D audio, yes. And when you turn on 3D audio, it makes.
Make it better on Mars?
Yeah. Well, will we jump over to Mars and give it a go? Chris, is that a good idea?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, I'm going to give Chris co-host. Chris is over in the Americas, and he is one of our most experienced users, and he is absolutely wizard with Engage. So I'm just going to manage, and I'm going to give Chris co-host as well. Thank you for popping in, Chris.
Yeah.
And now Chris is a co-host. So the co-host feature is really cool. What it does is usually the person who starts the class has control of everything, but co-host gives permissions to anyone else you nominate, and they can do everything. So Chris is going to take us over to Mars.
All right, let's go.
Hello.
I'm going to leave. So the way 3D voice should work. Where's Chris?
I'm out here.
He's trying to get away.
There you
He's
go.
trying to get away.
So as you can see, Chris is running away across the Martian surface. You'll hear his voice is fading away.
Hello.
Hello, Chris. Can you hear me?
Hello.
So that's really handy. So if you wanted to have a private conversation, then you can stroll off and Chris and I can whisper about things. So, hey, Chris.
Don't whisper about me, though.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
How's things in Ireland?
I heard you.
Oh, man. We're
good.
so busy trying to get ready for this VC thing, but
Happy
exciting.
St. Patrick's Day, huh?
Thank you very much.
Or is it, tomorrow already? Or is it tomorrow?
No,
I think it is
it's
tomorrow
a couple
already.
of days, but unfortunately we have corona fears here in Ireland. So so there's no parade in Ireland, unfortunately.
Guinness is the cure.
Unfortunately, but anyway, everyone, I'm going to turn off 3D sound so you can all hear me.
Belgium.
We're good.
Belgium, okay.
Thank you very much, everybody, for coming along. It was really wonderful session here today. We will be having more creator sessions. But we're not, possibly next week, we've got a lot of events on. We may not be able to hold a creator session next week, but we will be having them at regular intervals and at least once a week from now. We will have a session next week, but definitely after that, we're going to be having them at least once a week from now on.
Is this the kind of turnout you get every time?
So I'm going to...
Is this the normal turnout?
No, this is... it's becoming the normal turnout, which is wonderful.
I think it's great.
I'm delighted about that.
Way to go, everybody!
Actually,
right.
everybody,
That's awesome.
can I get everyone in together? I just want to take a photo of everybody because this is the great.
Oh yeah.
And I want to say thanks very much, everyone. I'm delighted. So hop on in there, okay? If everyone, you want to come on in. Oh, we've got two people maybe not here anyway. Don't worry. So give me a wave there.
We can go and stand
wave.
by them.
If you've got controllers, here we go. 1, 2, 3, cheese. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
Well, thanks very much for coming along, everybody, and hopefully we'll see you again in some more of the creator sessions.
Thank you, Danny. David.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Take care, everybody. Bye.